European Union is paying our country because of tariffs $950 billion. Think of that. We're talking about a year. $950 billion. Japan is paying us $650 billion. These are countries that paid us nothing until I came along.
So Donald Trump is declaring there that because of his massive, insane, ever-changing tariffs, the EU's paid us almost $1 trillion. Japan has paid us almost $1 trillion. Now, you'll be shocked to find out that he's utterly wrong about all of that. But let's say that he at least has the numbers sort of right, that it's generated that money. Now, he says they're paying for it. Now, if you've been paying attention to politics or anything for years, you know that that's not how it works. But apparently that money is being generated. But wait, but if it isn't those countries that are paying for it, who is actually paying for it? Well, there's been some analysis actually. Goldman Sachs has looked into this and they found that thus far, and we're still in early days of these tariffs, US consumers are shouldering up to 55% of the costs stemming from Trump's tariffs. US businesses are paying 22%. Foreign exporters, which are not the countries, but at least are in those foreign countries, are paying less than 20%. So he is, by my rough numbers, 82% lying to you, okay? He's 82% spitting in your face. But wait a second, he said we've generated, just in the EU and Japan, $1.5 trillion. Well, if we've paid for 55% of that, then it sounds like we've paid $800 or more billion in additional taxes that don't get called taxes because he doesn't want you to think of them as. Those countries have paid very little, less than 20%. Now, the US businesses are absorbing some of it. Maybe they'll be able to do that for a while. I assume that would still bother them, that's clearly cutting into their profits for apparently no gain. But we are paying for the majority of it. And you're probably feeling that yourself in the products that you buy. Now that said, that with a video we showed, it's not the only lies that he's been telling recently. Let's jump now into this.
There seems to be a new version of TDS, which I would call tariff derangement syndrome. And many on your side seem disappointed that there is no inflation today. As a matter of fact, we saw the best inflation numbers since 2020. So there has been nothing passed on. There has been no tariff recession. So no inflation, no recession due to tariffs.
Okay, so we have tariff derangement syndrome as he continues to pretend to believe that those other countries pay for the tariffs. He knows that they don't. He literally works in finance, but he has to pretend to believe that because if he doesn't, he will be fired. He'll be thrown under the bus. God only knows what Trump will be posted on True Social about him. So you're crazy. He's lying to keep a job, but you're crazy. And by the way, there's no recession. There's no inflation. Is that how it's feeling? Is that how it's feeling? Look, so I could throw to the endless clips we've done about the rise in prices of a variety of different things. Toys becoming more expensive, furniture becoming more expensive, groceries are rising at precipitous rates, beef is more expensive than it's ever been. All of these prices are rising, kind of feels like inflation to me, but even just the net numbers, according to Goldman economists, they expect that the overall inflation reading in December could be up to 3% at that point. So I don't know what percent is talking about there. The actual numbers don't bear it out. Certainly the day-to-day experience of most Americans doesn't bear it out. But he seems, Sharon, to be following the same strategy that Trump has been doing, which is to just lie to people's faces about the actual economic experience they're having. That didn't work out well over the last 4 years. I don't know why they would think that would work now, but they are sticking with it. What do you think?
They're sticking with it and becoming increasingly violent. I mean, Scott Bessent is unlike any other Treasury Secretary we've had in history, I think. I mean, there's reports of him talking about punching the housing guy in the effing face. So listen, they're gonna lie and thug their way through this. This is what Trump wants. Bessent he's supremely qualified in his financial education. He understands how things work. He's just choosing to do alternative facts and weird math. The math ain't mathin', and he's gonna show up for the hearing and he's gonna attack and push back. And that's how it's going to be. All of these are lies, and we're either going to swallow it whole or somebody's going to threaten us. Either way, we're screwed.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I think that people are going to continue to pay attention to the actual economic experience they're having. I think that was the deciding factor in the last election. And I think they will continue to care more about whether they can actually afford things than whether the guy Trump chose tells them they can. But that said, maybe not. Maybe they don't. We've seen for decades Republicans willing to be screwed over by their government, by their own party, in exchange for oftentimes very abstract identity politics wins. So maybe they'll do that. That will certainly be interesting, but in this case, I don't think it's likely to happen. And that said, we've been talking about tariffs in general. Let's talk about specific tariffs and the effect that their announcement can have on our economy. Trump made one post on social media and apparently, at least for a brief period of time, set about half a trillion dollars on fire. And I think it's a reminder to us that Donald Trump is not only a bad steward of the economy, but also probably should not have the power to directly post to social media himself. It should have to go through Barron or Kai or something like that. So usually we would show you the tweet that he sent out. In this case, we're gonna start with the effect that it had on the stock market. So take a look at this. This is the S&P 500, and it had a little bit of a dip, okay? And it had to do with Donald Trump posting about no longer buying Chinese cooking oil. And between 2:37 p.m. and 2:44 p.m., about $450 billion had evaporated as a result of it. Yes, people in the chat are saying we're cooked, and we might well be, but we won't be cooked with Chinese cooking oil, I can say that. Yes, it was about the cooking oil. Here's the message. I believe that China purposefully not buying our capital S soybeans and causing difficulty for our soybean farmers is an economically hostile act. We are considering terminating business with China having to do with cooking oil and other elements of capital T trade as retribution. As an example, we can easily produce cooking oil ourselves. We don't need to purchase it from China, which I don't know if we can easily transition to making our own cooking oil. Probably not, based on what I know about our country and our relationship with China. But also, so you've done this trade war with them, okay? And you've continually stuck your thumbs in their eyes and everything. So they've done kind of what you're threatening to do. You're saying, we're not gonna buy X product from you. You're mad that they're not buying Y product from us. They've decided to buy soybeans from other countries. And we'll return to that in just one sec. And that's an economically hostile act. But what are you doing right now? Is it not an economically hostile act to tweet something out irresponsibly and cause $500 million to just, $500 billion to just disappear? And he's done that so many times. And look, I understand that he doesn't particularly care about it. The market might recover, and if not, I'm sure he told some people in the administration he was gonna do that, and they probably anonymously shorted the market and made hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's great times for them. But I don't know, I feel like there's a little bit of hypocrisy there. And also, I think that the Trumpy doth protest too much, because here he is talking about goddamn China not buying our soybeans. But do you know where apparently a significant percentage of the soybeans are now gonna be coming from? We talked about it before, and it's from Argentina, the country that we are bailing out for tens of billions of dollars. As we're negotiating that, Argentina's like, yeah, give me the money, dummy. Give me that money. You don't you like me? I'm a cuckoo like you. Give me that money. Meanwhile, hey, China, F their soybeans, we got better soybeans, we got a better deal. And they've set up their own deal. And rather than putting pressure on, I don't know, the country you're willingly giving $20 billion, he's screaming into the stock market void against China, which is not gonna solve the actual problem. And isn't it weird that he wants your attention and your anger to be focused on China and not on his ideological ally that he's showering with our goddamn tax dollars? Sharon, what do you think?
It's wild, it's loopy, it's corruption all the way. And by the way, can we follow the kickbacks? I suspect there's many who's really gonna get the $20 billion? Then is it really a bailout, or does it come right back to some billionaire 1%ers somewhere?
Yeah.
Look, it's a racket, it's an ongoing racket. I'm gonna do billions in tariffs. And then, oh, not so much. And Wall Street bets the market and wins. And we just look stupid and prices climb and people are out of work and on and on and on.
Yeah, 100%. And like, there's so many examples of, we didn't used to have any of this, Like, it's not like times were great always under Obama. Certainly they weren't great always under Biden, but there was a range of how awful things could be. And the constant need to be vigilant in watching the stock market because you suspect that it's being manipulated. Again, turn the light off, turn the light on. Each time they make billions and billions and billions of dollars, and you have the most corrupt politician in world history perfectly willing to do that in full view, knowing that even if we revealed that it was goddamn Barron Trump that had shorted the crypto market because his grandpa told him that he was gonna screw it over with a true social message, does anyone think that there would be an investigation? Tom Homan was handed a bag filled with $50,000, and that wasn't corrupt enough to actually merit some sort of legal action. And so, God, I know, I assume I speak for a lot of people when I say that we just want to go back to a time that wasn't as cartoonishly corrupt and criminal as the time that we're in right now.